today and watch us come together with 2.2 million people and hundreds of thousands of comments and seeing some of us are being stretched. Listen, some of us, when I was blessed, fortunate enough to make the offer for road trip, the Highway to More, so many people are like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And every once in a while someone say, oh, I can't believe we're selling. Listen, I want to tell you something. When you feel that in your heart, that's the question. Listen, if this isn't for you, that's okay, but do something. Listen, 27 years ago, you're saying, I get to watch Tony be on here. He's my best friend now. We talk every single night through either voicemail or a phone call. But 27 years ago, I was sitting where you were, watching a late night infomercial. And Tony Robbins came on. And there was a call to action for his course, Personal Power. And I remember thinking, damn, is he selling me? And I bought it. It was the first thing I'd ever bought in my life like that. I bought a course. My dad said to me, he's watching right now. My dad said, you paid $300-400 for information? I could have talked to you. And I remember feeling, oh, why did I do that? And truth of the matter is, my life shifted forever because I took that uncomfortable action to get Tony's course. And I remember I wrote in a journal, this course is so damn good, someday I want to meet him and thank him. 12 years ago, I got the chance to meet him and thank him. We've been partners, friends ever since, and our families love each other. We're chosen family. Sometimes that uncomfortableness of like, should I do this, is meaning that you must do this. So I just want to share that with you guys, that I felt blessed to be able to share this man's 8 months of hard work so he could ride shotgun with you on this journey to more. Hey, real quick. So this exercise, I'm going to try to do it in about 15 minutes, but really think about it. Try to jot down. Follow me over to the whiteboard. All right. So this is kind of a cool accumulation of everything you've heard today, some of the stuff Tony shared today, some of the exact stuff, and how it can come together in something I would suggest you do in each area of your life. If you could turn that down, I can hear you guys. All right, sorry, squirrel. I can hear. So I do this when my daughter wants to get softball practice, and I do this when my daughter's thinking of going to college or my son's thinking of baseball or not, but I also think about it in my next business, in my relationships, in everything in my life. And here's where we're starting. So let's start here. Okay, I got to do something here. All right, I got to go to black. That's it. All right, here we go. So where are you? Okay. What that question means to me, and I want you to hear me, you're here for a reason. And hear me on this one. All change starts with being honest with yourself. I want you to hear that. We could all feel blessed, and we are. Who loved watching Trent Shelton? He's still in the other room. You want to give him some love. He could see it. He's watching the chat. Oh, my God, right? But we all realize we're here, and all change starts with being honest. And I said that because some of the things Trent said I wrote in my journal about being even more honest with myself. You may be blessed. We are. 150,000 people die a day. You didn't today. You're blessed for being here, but it doesn't mean you've tapped into who you're supposed to be. I shared earlier, we don't want to get to the end of our lives and see a video of the man or woman we could have been. So if you put it in the chat, why are you here today? Right? Change, love. Matthew asked that in the beginning of this day. And when we remember that, we get to realize that we're meant for more. In GPS, you don't just have a destination, you need a starting point. And you know what I love about being honest? Is you get disturbed with your own inaction. You don't want complacency. Today is a day to stretch you. That's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to make you uncomfortable, trying to make it so where I was isn't comfortable anymore. I gotta move. I'm meant for more. You see the build of what Trent and what Matthew and Marie and what I shared. We want the end of the day to go, I gotta move. So if figuring out where you are makes you feel a little uncomfortable with being honest, then congratulations. Congratulations. But if you know where you are with honesty, I want to make more money, I want to start a business, scale a business, or I want to trust love again. I want to let go of the past of when things went wrong, that I was deceived. I don't want the deceit of the past to tarnish the future opportunity that I have anymore. I want to step boldly into a new relationship. I want to find intimacy in my current relationship. I just want to love me again. I want to look in the mirror and say, you are enough. You are good enough. I don't know where you are, but when you write it down, and you should, you have a launching pad. You have a place to kick off of where we can push out into the next version of us. And at any time in history, I love this with Tony. I remember him teaching me this 27 years ago. You can make a change in an instant. I remember him saying, how long does it take to quit smoking? And somebody would say in the audience, took me 12 years. He's like, bullshit. Took you 12 years to think about it. Took a second to decide to quit smoking. And that's what we can decide today. This is where we are, but we could decide to make a move. So if you know where you are, then, you know, where do you want to go? Sorry for the sloppy writing. I could have done this with fancy slides, but it works better for me when it's, you can zoom this whole thing out so we can see the whole whiteboard. So if you know where you are, I just like to put this on a 45-degree angle because we want our year, next month, 5 years from now to be better than it was last year, right? Raise your hand if you want next year to be better than last year. Who will not accept next year to be like last year, right? So we want to go, and it's so sloppy, sorry, but that says, where do you want to go? Now, this is going to lean into what Tony just shared, and I'm glad he did. Because so many times in life, we know what we don't want. I don't want this job. I don't want to be alone anymore. I don't want to feel insecure. I don't want. Well, when is the last time you knew boldly? If we were in an elevator and I said, hey, just met Sawyer McConaughey, where do you want to go? How many of you would have an answer? Or would you default to what you don't want? Think about that. I've done this on stage. I've watched Tony do it on stage. I've watched somebody else. Most people know what they don't want, but haven't taken the time to figure out what they do want. And I have to tell you, this models Tony's story. But I heard a great story from a dear friend, father of 8, good man. His name is Ethan. Love the man. I get a lot of great parenting advice from this father. I have 4. I don't know how he handles 8, but does amazing. He's a part of his church. He's a church leader. And they took all the 15 to 17-year-old boys whitewater rafting. All the dads, they go to Colorado and they get there. I don't know much about rafting. But I guess the rapids go from a 1 to 5. Anybody that knows would know what I'm saying. And I guess they were a 4. And they were so big. He's like, listen, we're responsible for these kids. I think we should call it off. And he said this salt and pepper hair guide comes out and says, dads, don't worry, boys get in the raft. He said, are you sure we're okay? He goes, yes. He said, first 5, 10 years of me being a guide, it took me a little while to learn things. He said, I used to go, hey, watch out for that tree that fell. We don't want to hit it. And he said the whole raft would look at the tree, as Tony was saying, with the wall, and they'd hit the tree and flip over. And he said, I'd say, don't hit the rock. Watch the big rapid. He goes, I'm a slow learner, but eventually I realized the positive point. He said, I promise we're all going to be good today. He said, when I point, I'm going to point in the direction the raft must go. And if you guys all paddle your guts out in that direction, I promise we're going to have an amazing day. True story, he said, nobody flipped over. It was an amazing day. How many of us are pointing, in Tony's circumstance, are pointing at the wall? In this circumstance, pointing at the downed tree, and don't even realize we're getting up every day focusing on what we don't want, and what Tony said earlier is we run right into it. Maybe today, when you know where you are and you know where you want to go, we start pointing to the version of us that we should. Go back to what Trent said. No more prison. Decide to uncage the man or woman you're supposed to be. And listen, some of you are in really tough spots. Some of you are doing okay. Some of you have other people in your life that think you should be happy with where you are, but you're wearing your glasses, not theirs, and you know there's another level. So how I love to figure out exactly where I want to go is I like to pretend it's a year from now. And instead of looking forward to what you want out of life, sometimes goals are hard to set. We turn around and we look backwards and say, what if it was the best year of my life? I really want you to put that in the chat. What would be the best year of your life? Not looking at what could happen. It already happened. It was the best year of your life. What happened? How much, where are you with your career or the business you want to start or love relationships or intimacy, passion, or your health or your weight or how you look or your physical fitness or your self-love, your self-peace? Put it in the chat right now. If it was the best year of your life, and in a year from now, we were back here again with McConaughey. I'm going to try to get him to do that, but we'll talk about that another day. But in a year from now, we were back here and we were all celebrating the best year of our lives. I don't want you to just write it down. Truly feel it. Don't think I'd like to accomplish it. I want travel to Europe. I want a greater career. I want to retire. I want a beautiful new partnership. I want to grow and move forward. I want to love traveling with my partner. I want more travels, best life with my family. I want weekend getaways. I'm in love and traveling. I want to become a physical therapist. I want more travel. I want to sell lots of houses. I want to flipping a canoe with lots of fun. Look at this. That's all. Finish my business. Finish my book. Try not to worry. Love and friendship. Finish an album. If we can turn it around and say that's the best year of our lives, then what I'd suggest is really do the work. Really think and get it in your cells that it's actually happened, and then circle them. Put stars next to them, underline them, because that is your compelling future. That's what we need to say. We don't need to avoid what we don't want. We have to find the point, like the driver with Tony, like the guide with the positive point. We have to find that, and this is how we find it. So if we know where we are, and we know where we want to go, and can you see how this works in every area of your life? You could say to your kids, hey, this is where you are in school. This is where you want to go. Why, what does that look like if it was a year from now in school? The next part is the most important, one of the most important. The next most important is why. Why do you want this? I learned a long time ago, no change happens without an emotion, without your heart involved. So if I said to you guys, why are you here today? And you put in the chat, it's one of those reasons from our honesty, one of those places we want to go, but we got to emotionally get out of here and get into your heart. And I want to give you a secret here. You always hear about finding your passion. Trent shared that, right? You find your passion, find your purpose, your why. I'll tell you, the greatest exercise in 20 years I've ever learned was a guy named Joe Stump. I hired him as a consultant. He came in. I want to have more progress. I want to get more impact with our clients and our students. This was almost 20 years ago. And Joe comes in and he says, oh, you want more impact? You want them to change their lives? Well, they got to know their why. I'm like, I think I do that. He's like, no. Have you ever done the 7 levels deep? I'm like, I don't know what it is, but if it'll help, I'll take it. I paid $10,000, I think it was at the time, for a day of consulting, which was a lot. I think we ended up bartering, but it was a lot of money. And I said, give it to me. He said, no, I can't give it to you. I got to do it with you. I said, okay, let's do it. So he said to me, why did you hire me? Just like I said, why are you here? Being happy, love, I want to grow, I want to fulfill my soul, I want to give the most to other people. I remember I said something like, I want to change more lives and leave a legacy. And he's like, oh, that's great, Dean. Here's the whole secret to the 7 levels. He just asked the question again with the same answer you gave. So I said, I want to change more lives and leave a legacy. What did he say? Why do you want to change more lives and leave a legacy? I was like, okay. And I gave another answer. I don't know. I want to step up this industry so more people get transformation. And I remember I gave him like 4 or 5 answers that were from my head. But I do remember when it shifted. I remember when I'm asking it that many times that it got to a point where I literally felt it go from my head to my heart. And I felt this emotional shift. And when he said why, the 5th time, something came out I had never said before. I said, I never want to go backwards. I was like, where the hell did that come from? I remember my mom working 2 jobs, like I said earlier, 3 jobs to make $90 a week, come home late with her hands tired. And I remember saying, no way, I don't want to go back to that. I remember my dad working hard in the collision shop. I don't want to go back to that. Being in a trailer park till we couldn't afford it anymore. I don't want to go back to that. Not going on vacations. And all of a sudden, I just started feeling like, whew, this is why I work so hard. This is why I got to go after it. This is why I got to take uncomfortable action. This is why I got to be courageous. Whew. And I remember thinking, that I got it. And he's like, no, that was only 5, Dean. Why don't you want to go backwards? And the next one, if you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. Next thing that came out of my mouth was, I want my kids to have choices. I never said that either. Now, I'm not talking about raising, now that I have 4 more entitled children. The world does not need any more entitled children running around. But as a kid, I don't think I felt like I had choices, and I want them to have choices, to do different things, to explore, to not be stuck. Oh my God, I'm in my heart. There's tears coming out of my face. I'm trying to hold it in, I can't. And I'm like, I got it. He's like, Dean, you got it, but that was number 6. He said, why do you want your kids to have choices? And my why came out. And it was, I want to be in control of my life. That's still my why to this day. It's still something I repeat to myself this day. Because as everybody probably told you here so far today, stuff will go wrong. Things don't go right. People will doubt you. Some things will fail. And we have to get up and keep moving forward. If it's just to make $1 million, you'll give up. If it's just to find love and don't care, just want someone, you'll give up. But when you get into your heart, when I said I wanted to have control of my life, what I thought about is that I love my parents dearly. They married and divorced a lot. I moved 20 times by the time I was 19. New step-parents and step-grandparents and brothers and sisters, like, it was nirvana. But then 2 years later, we're gone. And then we're over here, new house, new family, gone. I was never in control. I moved around nonstop, different schools, different people. And all of that hit me. And I realized what was important to me at this phase of my life. I pick up my kids every day from school. I take them to school every day. I still make them lunches. I go to every baseball game that I'm in town. I used to go to every single practice in town. When my kids get off school, I'm still there waving. I need to be in control. There's nobody that's going to tell me I can't pick up my kids. No, I'm sorry, you got to work late. Can't pick up your kids. No, I'm sorry, can't take your wife on a date. My date nights with my wife are everything. I need to be in control of my calendar. And when I think that, it is such a why to me that I would die for my why. I get emotional when I think about my why. That's how much leverage we need to get the momentum to start. So if you know where you are and you know where you want to go and you write down a year from now, best year of my life, you got to attach your heart to it. And keep asking yourself why until you get to where you feel it in here. Until you feel emotions. Until you feel your eyes swell up. Because then you know you got the thing. When someone says no, you go, no, that just means not yet. When someone says it's not going to work, you say, that's what you think. That's for other people. No, that's what you think. These are my glasses, as Trent said, and I am getting to where it is I want to go. Does that make sense? Put in your chat your why. Who thought? I see it, Tom and Bridget and Fernando and Catherine and Elisa. Put in the chat, what is your why? If you don't feel it totally in your heart, I'm going to challenge you to dig in even more. What is your why? I want to be in control of my life. Knowledge, what you just said. Freedom, security. Learn. Clarity, freedom, experiences, resilience. Freedom, quality time. Freedom, show my kids joy, love, peace, marriage, happiness, joy, freedom, peace, guilt-free. Kids, love. Teach my daughter that anything is possible. I get that one. To really show up in my own life, to feed my soul, my baby girl, no hesitations. Set an example. I want to free my soul. I want to have more fun. And you should. Love, I want to be free. Joy, coaching. I just want to be happy. Time and financial freedom, being in control. Get out of my Groundhog Day. Guys, we all have this journey. And congratulations, it's life. This is the journey we're all on. The last part of this equation that I've literally done, I do it at least 10 times a year right now, is if we know where we are with honesty, sorry, this is so sloppy, and we know where we want to go, and we attach our heart with a why. The last piece is how. It's kind of a exclamation point and a question mark. How are you going to get there? What capabilities do you need? What new perspective do you need? What new thinking do you need? What do you need to go from where you are to where you want to be? What capabilities have you been putting off or avoiding that you need to get and say, I need to take bold action? It's the how. And today, of course, I'm so excited to let the world know about Matthew McConaughey's course. I mean it. I mean it. If it's not for you, that's totally cool. Take what you learned today and go, or go find what capabilities you need. Listen, the number one priority of this event is for you to see there is a gap, and the only way to get from where you are to where you want to be is you got to fill it with capabilities, and then you got to take uncomfortable action. I hope it's Matthew's course, because I watched what this man put in that course. I know we could ride shotgun to help you with more joy, more cool, more love, more balance, more you. More selfish. He's going to talk about that in a minute. But you got to decide, What is the how you need? And then take the uncomfortable action to get it. Now, one more little secret that's evolved for me over the last few years. How is really important. But what did Tony say? The tyranny of how. Sometimes how freaks you out. So how can equal who. Who has already done what you want to do? Who's already carved the path? You're getting to the edge of the woods. You can figure it out on your own. Or somebody over here selling a map. You have the opportunity to get a map. Listen, if this is not for you, if you don't want more, I mean this, and this is Matthew's heart and his beautiful wife's heart. They want you to go get the capabilities you need to not live small, to not settle to live here, whether it's Matthew's course or something else. Maybe you could just declare today is the day that you will get the capabilities you will need. You will stop dabbling, stop gain the how from the who's already done it. This is an exercise that changed my life, and I hope today, if you need more love or more choice or more you or more cool or more balance, those mores are in Matthew's course. Now, here's the cool part. You guys got an incredible opportunity today to be one of the first people to ever get it. And so many of you have already enrolled. I see it in the chat. I get to see in the back. Congratulations. You're going to be blown away with what this man created. So here's what we're going to do. Matthew's going to come back with the ending. And you got to be ready for this. He's going to tell you how more selfishness is actually the greatest form of selflessness. Think about that one. In the meantime, here's what we're going to do. You got 2 extra bonuses since we started. You got Trent Shelton giving you the self-worth method. That's an amazing course. I've been through it start to finish. Did that because he wants to serve you guys. You got Tony's Time of Your Life. Both of those courses sell for almost as much as this entire course. This is all of us. You got the mastermind. This is all of us putting in to go, this guy created something amazing. And we're nudging you to action. Again, I mean that. If this isn't for you or you feel uncomfortable, that's okay. But maybe ask yourself, is this the uncomfortable nudge that I need? I said earlier today, when you're selling something, when you're persuading someone or influencing someone to take an action and you know it could change your life, if you know how just wanting you to experience, I don't feel as if it's selling. It's service at the highest level. I know the disservice it would be for you not to get it. So here's what we're going to do. We'll take a quick 5-minute break. This is the last break before it's over. Then McConaughey comes back and is going to make this amazing, this final ending. But why not go to bed tonight excited knowing, hell yeah, I went in with McConaughey. So if you want to bring that up, it's jointheroadtrip.com. You got the course, you got the weekly training, you got the monthly training, plus the library. You got a new course every month, plus the library. We'll do 50 more meals. You got Tony and Trent's bonus. Pretty spectacular for $397. We'll see you in just 5 minutes.
Because the times, they do be a-changing. And I say it's time for us to adapt and to evolve. I say it's time for us to take a road trip that really does go somewhere, a road trip on a highway that gives us more. That's why I'm here. I hope that's why you're here. So what do you say? Want to take a little road trip to where you really want to go? I do. Thanks for being here. Let's work this thing called life out a little bit, huh? Look, Green Lights is a book that shares my approach to life. But on this road trip, we're going to take some of those stories and insights and philosophies and put you in the driver's seat. My one and only goal is to help you get more of